let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hey guys, J-Man here. Today has been an awesome day. I've been just thinking about Fire and Ice all day. I've been listening to power metal just to get me pumped up. I've been listening to a little bit of the soundtrack of Fire and Ice, which I do have. Came with a great booklet too. It's just been so pumped. I know this has nothing to do with Fire and Ice, but I grabbed Death Dealer, started reading my Death Dealer comics. I did my review for Dawn Attack, which is based on Frazetta that I posted yesterday. I'm super behind. This is issue 1. I'm so behind on Death Dealer. They're on issue 9, and I've only read issue 1. So I've got to get thing. I have my Conan shirt. I don't know what other shirt is appropriate for this. I actually don't have a Fire and Ice shirt. I'm not going to bring everything out. These are the main things. I've got the DVD, of course, but why do DVD when you got Blu-ray? Okay, before we get going, let's do quick updates. Tomorrow, we are going to be doing the Friday Night Versus, which is going to be Hereditary versus Midsommar. That is tomorrow. We're going to have Nate from Give Me Back My Horror Movies, and Sean is going to be there tomorrow as well, and that's going to be the three of us. We're going to do a good versus on that. Then Saturday, we're doing the DC Films ranking. We're going to have Chris the Comic Vet. We're going to have 1407 Greymalkin. We're going to have Professor Bill from Comic Book University. Sean can't make that one, but I'm pretty sure Sean and I have the same opinion on all these movies. Right. And Steven will be coming as well. This Tuesday, we're going to be back talking about Women of Wrestling. And then Wednesday, I'm going to be on the Action Elite. And we're going to be doing Under Siege versus Under Siege 2 Dark Territory. And then Thursday, Sean and I are back, and we're going to be doing the Days of Thunder Awesome Comics of the 90s, January 1991 releases. We're going to go through everything. So that's going to be cool. And then that's as far as I've got planned. Okay, but we are good. The next Days of High Adventure is going to be The Phantom with Billy Zane. That won't be next week. It'll be the week after. We're going to rotate between Days of High Adventure and Days of Thunder. So Awesome Comics of the 90s versus fantasy adventure movies. So we're going to alternate those every Thursday night. All right. Yeah, sorry, there's a lot of updates to go through. Sean's backstage, is this happening? Yeah, we're getting there. All right. Let's bring Sean in since we know he's lurking. Hey. So let's take a look at the chat here. Bill posted something really early on. Hey, answer the Akira. Akira is bloody awesome. That's a 10 out of 10. Frazetta's badass. Yeah, big time. Written by the guy who made Conan. Come on. He's one of the guys who killed Superman. Yeah. Bill says, I wish I could stay up and watch this live, but I have to. It's okay. So that's cool. Hungry Boy, what's going on? Frazetta, yeah, Fire and Ice is fire. Yeah, we were just talking backstage. There's Fire and Ice. Well, after you watch Fire and Ice, it changes your life to the point where there's F and I. It's either, before FI, before Fire and Ice, and after Fire AFI. Cannot be reached here. Cannot be reached. Sorry, that's the Stream Elements guy. Where's my cannot be reached? So I got your text, your message. So I've got those pictures ready to show as well. So there you go.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. So Sean, are you on tonight? What's I'm not sure what you meant there. Did you mean
well, because you were talking to your stuff, and then I was.
Yeah. Sean's coming on
tonight, or
well, I mean, I can put you on and start doing some random updates that you're not going to care or whatever.
It's fine. Yeah,
you know what they are.
Chat, that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. So as usual, I mean, look, there's no. We normally on these streams we do our space analysis. So story, I'll say it because I always say it: story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 to 2. 0 is bad, 2 is amazing, 1 is okay. Most movies, comics, TV shows should get a 5 or 6 if they're any good. A
Right.
5 or a 6 means it's a pass.
Right.
I don't like this thing where people like say, oh, it's a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. It's like, well, there needs to be some sort of system that, can grade it in the terms of like a 5 is still okay. Like in Canada, 50% is still sort of a passing grade. 5-10 means, yeah, that was okay, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to do space after I just explained all that. We're not going to do it tonight.
No, we're not
because
doing it.
obviously 10 out of 10. This movie is
Yeah.
10 out of 10. There's no
There's
no
nothing
need.
like it, really. I mean,
Yeah, there's no need
you know,
to
and
talk
stuff that
about it.
comes close, like just in that sort of awesomeness that you want to see, like action adventure animation, right?
Yep.
Like I love Star Chaser, but
Yeah.
it's silly compared to this. So
It's
yeah,
still cool.
it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that might there's a lot of okay, so we're doing the fantasy versus next. We've already started to plan that out. We're going to do a stream where we're going to figure out what fantasy movies we're going to put in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing 2 fantasy tournaments, the male leads and the female leads.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we can do an animated tournament, just a generic animated tournament, just to pick our top 8. Fire and Ice is obviously going to be there. I love Transformers.
Yeah. Oh, that would be there.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
It's one of those things. Is like, is it too good? Like, I don't know.
Are they too good? Well, Akira is pretty good.
Yeah, it's the same problem you had with a lot of movies. Like, it's my boy. It's like I don't know what I don't want it to lose. Right? So yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was upset a bit on the sci-fi ones or whatever.
Yeah.
The backgrounds and yeah, they're awesome. I mean, yeah. Well, I like Savage Sword Conan a lot. That's probably my favorite Conan comic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there a better Conan comic? Not really.
Not really.
Like to me, there's only 2 Conans. There's obviously Robert E. Howard original works, that the big phone book you have.
Yeah.
And then Savage Sword. Everything else that I've really tried, including even this, that I've really tried to get into, I kind of leave. It's just like, if I'm thinking about Conan, I just go to Savage Sword. And then if I think about something other than Savage Sword, I go back to Savage Sword. I don't.
Well, Savage Sword and Conan the Barbarian, like Roy Thomas really. Roy Thomas really channeled Robert E. Howard better than most people, because like everyone tries to be Robert E. Howard, right? But I think he did a pretty good job. I can't get into the other ones that Sprague de Camp or whatever his name was. I can't get into those. But he wrote like more Conan than Robert E. Howard did, like more of those books.
Right. Yeah. Like if you put it all together,
there's something missing. I don't know.
And was dead after the minute. Well, I liked. Okay, so Dark Horse picked it up.
Yeah.
And I collected everything and read all of it.
You're dying over those. Yeah.
I really liked them.
Mm-hmm.
What was missing was what Savage Sword had. It's just it's like you're almost there. I don't think they can do it today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Fire and Ice can come out today. Rodriguez tried to. We'll talk about Fire and Ice while we're just getting into it.
He tried to do a live action.
He tried to do it.
Yeah.
He was trying to do it in the very best time you could, because now you cannot. I watched it again last night. I mean, first of all, you can watch that movie so many times and just watch the backgrounds, as Hungry was saying. The backgrounds are insane. Like every background is crazy. Mm-hmm. Robert Rodriguez could have done this, and literally I would have literally put this in and just froze it, like pause, and that's your storyboards. Just pause.
Right.
And that's your storyboard, because this movie is perfect. I cannot think of what you can't remove anything. I mean, it's a bit short. What is the time? It's like 80 something.
80 minutes.
It's a bit short. So if it was a theatrical live action film, I would probably, I guess we'll get to that, how we would do it now. Let's get to that in a bit.
My problem with live action though is that there's always pressure to, well, I don't know pressure, but like there's always a desire to make it hazy or something.
No, I would not do that.
Some sort of a filter over it. Like what I like about this in this time when it was made is that they didn't think like that. They didn't say, "Oh, everything's yellow and everything's red," or so. I hate that kind of crap. It's clear, you know. It's like you can see all the back. There would be more mist and bullshit, and you wouldn't be able to see things properly.
That's if I'm saying if we were doing it, which we'll get. Okay, so how did you find out? Let's okay. So let's pretend we are doing a space analysis, even though we're not. So normally what we do is we say, how did we find out about this movie and what's our backstory with it? So Sean, you can go ahead. What's your backstory with this one?
This thing passed me by as a kid, man. It's like, which is embarrassing because I watched everything, so I don't know what the hell happened.
Let me stop you for just 1 second.
Yeah,
there's a lot. This passed by a lot of people.
Yeah,
I wanted to.
You showed it to me. So
did I show this to you for credit? Wow, that's awesome. Well, you're welcome. There's a lot. I'll let you get back in just 1 second. I just want to say this because I had this stream planned ages ago. This was what I thought of for this segment when I came up with this segment, but I didn't want to do it first because I was like, let's work up to it. And then our buddy Nick Weiser, who's a great guy, he's got a good channel. He did it a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I thought, oh crap, I wanted to do it. And he kind of beat me to it. But I was on his chat. Nobody, like a lot of people did not know this movie.
Yeah.
And it was shocking. Like I think Mark D didn't know. Or maybe, I don't know if he knew, but Nick had a few people on and none of them knew this movie. I thought, what the hell's going on? And then I started thinking, was I the only one? But okay, anyways, so continue your thing.
No, so I think what happened, like, if I really want to dive back, I feel like it's one of these things where I saw the cover and I judged it as like, this cover is way too good. It's one of those cheap shit movies. Like I thought it was a live action thing, like some cheap shit movie with like I don't know why I wouldn't look at the back or something. I don't know what's going on there.
I have the VHS, but it's in storage.
It's the kind of thing I would have loved as a kid because I loved action animation. You know, like, and there's scant few of that, like that Flash Gordon show, and Star Chaser and all that.
Yeah.
But like, there wasn't a lot of that, so I would have loved this. But like, I watched Wizards over this, you know, like I know what that movie is. Yeah. So you told me about it. You're like, you've never seen Fire and Ice, you know, and you're like, what? How come you haven't seen it? So I watched it with you, and I'm like, holy shit! There's a Batman guy in this and everything? Like
Dark Wolf.
He's like riding a pterodactyl. It's like what the hell is
insane.
This?
It's insane.
Yeah, I was like, oh my! And this is the kind of thing I like. It's like do everything rotoscope. Like I'm okay with rotoscope. I think it's awesome, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I knew about the Bakshi Lord of the Rings, but I didn't know anything about this. And I was like, wow, there's a whole other movie that's probably even better than Lord of the Rings. We did it all, and it's Frazetta, and it's Jerry Conway, and it's Roy Thomas. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
So it's a tiny miracle this movie even exists.
Yeah.
And this is right up every comic and fantasy person's alley, even if they don't know what this is. It's like this is it. There's never been anything like it since, you know, or even before. And it's like it's completely forgotten. Like you asked all those nerds about it, and they didn't even know what it was. But it's like crazy treasure to not know what that thing is. You know, it's crazy. So yeah. And as I say, like I love that style of animation where they weren't overthinking things and obscuring stuff. It's cool. It's like all the backgrounds you can clearly see. And all that, and even if it's like nighttime, you can still see them. They're like mega lit, you know. I love that stuff. So yeah.
No, I saw. So I told there was a Zellers. It used to be Towers. Zellers. No, Towers became Zellers, right? Is that right?
Did it?
Well, when I say became, I mean all of the Towers locations.
I think.
Became Zeller's locations. I used to go to Towers, and then it just was Zeller's one day or whatever.
Zeller's, yeah.
So and then Eaton's. So my mall next to me where I lived, it was like not even 5. It was like a 5-minute walk. I walked over.
Right.
So we had the arcade and all that. Mm-hmm. And we had Eaton's on one end, and we had Towers on the other. And I believe this was Eaton's, but I'm not 100% sure. So my mom used to work for Eaton Center downtown Toronto. That's how I used to get all the He-Man toys. She knew the buyer. So this is weird. My mom was a buyer. Sorry, she was a seller. She was a saleswoman. Okay. No, I'm a liar. She's a buyer. She was a buyer.
Okay.
She was a buyer for Eaton's, and she knew the buyer of the toy department. So she would tell me, "Oh, here's what's coming out." So I got every He-Man figure immediately because the buyer would be like, "Well, let's try to get some in," and they would get samples and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
And then my friend Vic, who I think you've met Vic, at least at my wedding you did.
Yeah.
My buddy Vic, his grandmother worked at Tonka in the factory.
Yeah.
So he had all the GoBots.
Well, every GoBot. Yeah.
He was a GoBot guy.
Yeah.
Because she was at the friggin' at the factory. She'd be like, just they're like pigs, and she could bring back like busted up ones too. Like it's oh, this was busted up. It's like okay or whatever, right? It was crazy.
It's just dinged a little bit. It's like that's fine.
Sure. It's we had a lot of cool weird connections. So that's how I got all the He-Man stuff. So obviously He-Man's my favorite thing. Yeah. And then there's J-Man, all that crap is He-Man. I got my brick sets in the background. So obviously He-Man's my favorite. So anything that's remotely He-Man-ish, right, is going to be up my alley. So that's a Conan. Yeah. That could be Conan and sci-fi. That's why He-Man was the best, because it was sci-fi. It had guns and lasers and whips.
And fantasy. Yeah.
And fantasy. So that's why He-Man's clearly the best thing ever made. Anyway, so I would go to Eaton's, and I was allowed to go to the mall. So, okay, this is a big lead up for whatever. The reason I'm saying all this is that I was allowed to go to the mall by myself because it was across the street, and it wasn't really a major street. It was just one street across. So that's how I would find comics and movies and all that. So I got an allowance, and I would save up and go on the weekend. So I go to Eaton's, and I went to this section. There's a section at Eaton's that had the VHS tapes, the kind of the shitty section.
Yeah. That's
where I found Godzilla. Like literally my entire life is from that Eaton's corner. Zellers or what. I think it was Eaton's. I'm going to ask my mom. She might remember. It was either Towers, Zellers, or I think it was Towers. But
Zellers had a VHS section that had all these crazy VHSs that you couldn't find anywhere else, right? Like I bought Violante there, and other weird stuff. UHF, the red one, which was weird. So anyway.
Oh my gosh, no, I never seen that.
Yeah, I still have it in my parents' house. But
wow.
Yeah.
So I went there, and literally Van Damme movies. Freaking Lorenzo Lamas movies, Jesus. That's a random name. So all fantasy, Elvira was there. It's like horror. It was all the genre movies, horror, fantasy. So like you'd go there and you'd see like something on the shelf, like you'd see E.T. And you're like, okay, that's the pumped up movies. But then the shittier ones were over here. So Fire and Ice was there. I saw the cover. I was like, well, this is obviously the greatest thing ever. So he brought it home and so I watched it. I got Lord of the Rings there. Same thing, Bakshi.
Yeah.
I have American Pop. They're talking about that in the chat. I have that as well on Blu. I think I might have that on Blu-ray. But maybe for sure. Like I have every Bakshi either on DVD and or Blu-ray whatever I could get at the time. Like Wizards though is DVD. I'm heard that's DVD. So anyways, so I went there and I'm like, oh, this is crazy. So I went home and watched it. And I was like my mind was blown. I'm like, I can't believe it. And it felt like He-Man a bit, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is insane. So Fire Ice came out in 83. So I don't know like where that, like when that would have come to VHS, probably like a year later or maybe even a year after that.
It wasn't like that back then.
You would take like a couple years. It would take like a couple of years, right, for something to come out actually buy.
They weren't releasing stuff on commercial VHS until I think Return of the Jedi was one of the first ones.
E.T. The first VHS movies I bought was Batman and E.T.
Yeah.
Batman 89. So by 89, they were full into it.
I think A Boy and His Dog is one of the first ones ever made or something like that.
Wow.
There's like four first ones, and then But the thing is, a lot of them were not commercially available. When I say commercial, I mean like you go to a store and buy it for like $29.99, right?
Right. No.
That wasn't until later,
Yeah. So this was a $9.99 purchase. It was an extended play. It was an EP tape. So what you could tell, I hate it when you take the tape out of the cover and you could see that the tape was skinny. I was like, oh, this will be bad quality because it would they didn't record it on the proper slow play or whatever. They would SP and EP and all that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we watched. We're like, wow, this is crazy. And I saw Lord of the Rings too, and I have that on VHS. And we're like, well, this is like literally, it's like 10 out of 10. It's like every scene is the best. The music's the best. Whatever. This soundtrack I got last year. It finally came out in a proper format, and I got the digital. You get the digital with it, and you get this booklet, which is amazing. It actually goes through like every. I'll show this for a sec. So so we watched it. We loved it. But like, look at the there's a lot of text.
That's cool.
And not only that, they go through like every song too and tell you about it. Like, look at all the text.
Cool. Yeah.
So now, and then they give you a digital, this company gives you a MP3 of it and gives you this booklet in HD PDF scan. So I got Return of the Swamp Thing. I got Fire and Ice. I got Exterminator 2. This company's, it's called Buy Soundtracks with an X. Blu-ray, I got the Blu-ray of that. Now the DVD of this came with Painting with Fire, but this was the proper release Painting with Fire, which is Frazetta's documentary. Oh my God. And then, oh my God, this is so awesome. This is so random.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's right. That's above you, Sean. That's the image I put above you. I didn't put this image because everybody in the planet knows this image. I thought, let me stay away from this one. Oh, there's Death Dealer coincidentally as well, because I just got Death Dealer. Or I just read it. I had it from before. Anyways. So, we love this movie. We watched it 100 million times. So, which are the two movies he doesn't like too? Which ones are the two you don't like? Let me tell you right now. I saw Wizards 100 years ago. I saw American Pop. I didn't even remember if that was Bakshi or not. I own it, but I saw it 100 years ago. The only ones that I know back to front is Lord of the Rings and this one.
Yeah.
I should watch them all.
Yeah, Wizards, I didn't like I know they're trying to be overly clever with the end, but I didn't like the end. It's so stupid.
I got to rewatch that, man. I have to see, because like for me, the big ones of my youth was this. I like Lord of the Rings. I like Akira, obviously. Ghost in the Shell. Those are, and then obviously Transformers. To me, like heavy metal. I've bought heavy metal 1,000. I even have 2 steel books of heavy metal. Like I rebuy that. I got the soundtrack to heavy metal. Like that'll be in the tournament. Yeah. This is this style, this like heavy metal, this Fire and Ice. This is to me what it is. Akira, like that's my thing. I don't know. You know what I mean? Oh, Rocket Robin. Yeah, I own Rocket Robin.
TV shows,
and Spider-Man.
Like, look, I like G.I. Joe the movie. I know Cobra Law sucks.
Cobra Law sucks, but friggin'
sucks. But everything to do with G.I. Joe in that movie is awesome. Yeah. And like any little G.I. Joe thing, like Slaughter's Renegades are awesome.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Fritz. Yeah, Fritz.
Yeah, Fritz, yeah. And that's he's known for that, right?
I don't think I've seen this. I have to look that up. So I might not own everything. That's troubling. I have to check. I try to keep up with stuff, but like Frank Henenlotter came out with a movie and I didn't know about it. So I have to like Bad Biology or whatever. I think I own it now.
What about Cool World?
Yeah, look, if it's right, and you see, you just came up with that because you're like, oh yeah, that seems like it. I liked it, bought on VHS, right? It's like those kinds of movies. It's like if I came across them, I bought them because like to me, that's what animation was. And I don't know. It's just when people like this is why when people I'm not dumping on Disney 100%. People no 100% no because people come up to me like, oh man, did you see this or that? And people, I remember when Lion King came out, and everyone's like, oh man, this movie's awesome. I was like, and they're like, what? And I said Lion King was okay.
Yeah,
literally, people were losing their minds. What? Lion King? What are you talking about? It's a masterpiece. Like, I say, ain't no effing Fire and Ice. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
It's like I'm watching Akira. Okay, it's like I'm watching friggin' Fire and Ice. It's like you're talking about Lion King. It's a bunch of lions. Who cares? And I remember, this is funny. My wife loved Lion King.
Yeah.
And same thing. She's like, "Well, you don't like it?" No, no. And then I started showing her this stuff.
Yeah.
And she's watching Attack on Titan, right? Like that, it's like Lion King. Yeah, forget that. It's
anime was just becoming a niche thing at the time when Lion King was around. But I remember that movie Metropolis, which was
I have that,
and it's insane. Because it's symmetrical rotations and things. It's like, oh my god, what the hell, man? Yeah, and anything anime, it became bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So we know
we knew that. We know it's.
I don't know, they'll never admit that. So
it's really bad because it is that though. It's
Mustafa and Mufasa, Kimba and Simba. It's it goes on and on. Scar and Scratch. It's like it's
and I knew people had said, oh, it's a ripoff, but I actually didn't know how badly it was ripped. People say, oh, it's a ripoff. Oh, okay, sure, right. And then I watched a YouTube video. So this is in YouTube era. I watched a YouTube video where they're I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Yeah, Entertainment Tonight did a story on it, and Mary Hart did the side by side. And I was like, oh my god! Now everyone knows. If it's on Entertainment Tonight back then,
that means if my mom knows about it, then every person on the planet knows about it. But so Fire Nights. So I mean, okay, so our good buddy Could Not Be Reached sent us some pictures right before the stream started.
Cool.
So it's rotoscoping. We all know what it is. Here's some of the. So here's Dark Wolf. Here you can see some of the. Yeah.
That's cool. So they basically drew the cowl over him rather than have him wear one.
And I guess this is Necron.
Cool. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's Necron. Yeah, it's totally Necron.
With the it's in the middle here. I lost it because. So we got. I guess that's
here.
Tigra,
This is the main
Larn. That's Larn, right?
Yeah.
Tigra. She must have been good looking because Tigra in the thing. I remember even as a kid, you're like, whoa, this is should I be watching this? It's one of those ones, Heavy Metal had nudity in it, but this one was a weird.
Oh, Rock and Roll's another one.
I have that.
Rock and Roll
that I have on Blu-ray for sure.
Yeah, it's Canadian and it tanked ass here, and then they dumped it on City TV months later, and that's where I saw it.
Yeah,
I saw it on TV in 1982 or whatever the hell it came out.
Yeah, I've got to watch. You know what? I'm trying to check. I'm trying to see. I don't think I have American Pop. I'm just going through some of the ones. Because now I can't seem to find it on my list, and it's troubling me now. Back sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
The curves are completely different, but it's funny. It's rotoscoped, yet you still have to maintain those proportions, even though they're not the proportions of the figure that you're rotoscoping over. That's talent, man. So yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, and do you know? And I just read this today just because I was pumped up. The Death Dealer issue 1 has nudity.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of these. I have those in the 90s one too. With the
I don't have covers. This one just started. They're on issue 9. I just got issue 9 this week.
Yeah, no, I have those.
I was missing.
Yeah,
I was missing a couple, so I got them from Dungeon Comics, and they're sending them to me. My comic shop sometimes misses stuff, or I miss stuff, so I'm trying. I'm much better now. What happened here? I was in trouble for getting Raquel to watch Rock and Roll Clubby's Clubhouse. Well, she brutalized. Oh no, she hated it. Oh no. Well,
I must have missed that. I'm gonna go back and watch that episode.
Yeah, how did I miss that though?
That's a Canadian classic, man.
I must have. The problem is that they start at 10 o'clock our time, and 11 o'clock.
I know.
Man,
I've been missing a lot of them. I've been missing a lot because I've been going to bed really early because I'm tired as hell. And I'm tired, and I feel bad. I commented last night on no, not last night. Whenever their last one was. Oh
yeah, I was on last night. Yeah, I was on last night.
And whenever they were talking about 90s Marvel shows, and And I was like, I haven't been on here for a long time, man. I usually fall asleep before it happens, right? So yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much there for the first half an hour all the time. But it's getting to the point now where like it's like there's so many people commenting and talking that like it's like you don't get to the topic till like about 20 minutes in, and then 20 minutes after that I fall asleep or whatever. But yeah. She gave it a 2.
I'll say one thing about rock and roll.
I'll
say one thing about rock and roll. That final song is wicked. Like
I mean, come on.
A couple of months ago, I was playing it over and over at work. I don't know what the hell got into me. I was like, "Oh, that song's awesome!" Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, so I just sent Sean and Could Not Be Reached. I sent Could Not Be Reached a private message for a new band that Charlie from the great podcast Give Me Back My Action Movies sent me a band. It's a power metal band, and I'm like, buddy, you sent this on the right time, right? Like I was like, I was just because power metal, because I like metal, and when somebody told me that, oh, do you like power metal? And this is years ago, obviously. They're like, I was like, what's power metal? They're like, oh, it's Conan and heavy metal. I'm like, that's the best thing that's ever been invented. Like, I'm like, are you serious? That's a thing? It's like, yeah. And I'm like, wow. And then that was it. Power metal was like the greatest thing ever. Man of War and all that. I understood, but she needs to watch because she's understood geek film acumen. Okay. Yep. Tigra. We can look her up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that one would make it in the top 8 to do a tournament. I'd have to rewatch all these. Because heavy metal is like for sure, Fire and Ice is for sure. Would you put Lord of the Rings? Like, I really liked Lord of the Rings. It was all we had at the time.
Well,
really.
I was gonna say for Lord of the Rings that's well before this movie, and you can tell the rotoscoping is a lot better here. And they learned some lessons because like Lord of the Rings has some weird stuff in it. Like it's rotoscope, which is awesome. But I don't know what they were thinking half the time. Like there's one shot where Gandalf turns around and his cloak goes over his head and he has to go like that. And obviously that's what happened in the live action footage. And for some reason, rather than correct it, they animated that whole thing. And it doesn't make any sense, right? And, but here it's like it's a lot better. Those mistakes are gone. Except for maybe Necron's hair or something, but you know.
Could not be
his hair is that in the live action model.
Yes, that is his hair.
Yeah.
Could Not Be Reached sent me. Yeah, like that's his hair.
There he is
with the point and all that.
He's got bangs. Yeah.
So Could Not Be Reached sent me some more pics of the girl. They definitely embellished her features.
Embellished her, yeah.
I mean, what do you it's like, okay. But I'm okay with it. It's for artistic merit or whatever. It's all done. They're art photos. But I remember in Peggy Bundy, what's that show called? Married with Children. In Married with Children, she's like, Peggy goes to something. She's like, I'm okay with nudity, but it has to be for art. It has to be for art photos or something.
Well, you're doing a Frazetta movie. It's got to look like Frazetta women, right? So that's why he drew big butts and all that. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen the Battlestar Galactica Frazetta drawings. He made concept art so that they could sell it, and then they used that concept art in the TV guide advertisements back. We were 1 year old, so it's not, we wouldn't have seen him.
I have seen,
but they're fun to. But there's shots of women running and stuff, and it's just bums.
Yep.
It's just,
I know. I've seen these. I've seen all these. Yep.
Yeah.
I have maybe every Frazetta. I have a picture. I've got like a folder of just fantasy art, and it's got everything in there.
Right.
That is art. Yeah. There you go.
It's art to me. Yeah.
Yeah, the Battlestar art is awesome. Well, he also did, I believe, I'm going to double check to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure. who did the Buck Rogers TSR adventures? Maybe somebody will know there.
I don't know.
TSR Buck Rogers art. Of course, I can't find any now. Oh, here you go. I think it is Frazetta.
Yeah.
I can't tell. They're too small. Oh my God, this is the catalog I have. I have to save this. Oh my God, I've been looking for this my whole life. I had this catalog. I'll show it to you after. But I have the Buck Rogers. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. It's way too small on here. It's hard to tell. Maybe somebody will know. If you guys in the chat, Google TSR Buck Rogers. I don't know if you know this, Sean. This is crazy. I love collecting like role playing games. I have the how we were playing Redbox for D&D. I have the TSR Buck Rogers role playing game.
Oh yeah, wow.
What a random thing, eh? It's all complete. It's like perfect.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's like got ships and stuff. So you could be like a rocket jock guy. You can be like, what all the Buck Rogers things.
Cool.
But I'm going to show you this. This is sort of related. So my mom, again, because she was a buyer, she would get all these catalogs.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this one and 1993, I think.
Oh, wow.
That's the TSR catalog for all of the products coming out for D&D and
for everything they did.
For everything they did, Marvel game.
Yeah.
The Face Rip game that we call it Face Rip. Classic Comics, dude. What's going on? Back in my teens, friend, very nice watch over the weekend. He lived 3 times 3. Oh, dude, I hear you. I mean, like, I just watched it. So basically, just yesterday, I put it on TV. Now, this is the first time I ever watched it with 65-inch 4K TV. I always had surround sound, but with it's just better. And it was awesome because I had my phone, and I thought I'll just have it on. You know what I mean? Because I've seen it a bunch.
You've seen it, yeah.
5 minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck the phone. I gotta watch this whole thing. And I just watched the phone got put away. I'm like, watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
For me to put away my phone, like, it is really tough now because I usually read comics and watch at the same time. But like something like this, I'm like, this is a comic. This is a living comic.
Yeah, no, it's ludicrous, and it's a shame we never really
Jeff
got
Butler. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's good. There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's like because you've seen the test footage of the I'm blanking, the John Carter cartoon that they were gonna make back in the 30s. And it was going to be rotoscoped, and there's some pencil art of John Carter and some dude fighting, and I was like, oh my God, if they ever did that would be awesome. Or do like a rotoscope, like animated, like cell animated Star Wars or something like that. That would be awesome. Like do some of the comics as that.
I like the Star Wars. What were those ones? The ones that I read where this is actually where they find Hoth. And where
it's the newspaper strips.
Yes,
and
they've collected them and they collected them into like a kind of a comic, right? Like
yeah.
So is that where they fight? That's where they meet the bounty hunter on Ord Mandel, right?
I'm pretty sure it was the comic strip. Yeah, okay. The newspaper strip. Yeah.
Man, those
10
out of 10.
Yeah.
I want that as a cartoon.
Yeah, because to me, it's like I would read Star Wars stuff just to read it because I love Star Wars and you're hungry for that kind of thing, right? But you're like, yeah, that's not quite Star Wars.
I agree. I can't.
Yeah, and then Dark Horse collected those as Star Wars Classic or Classic.
Yeah, that's it. Classics.
These are awesome. Holy crap!
I know.
Yeah, and we were too young to I wasn't reading the newspaper when I was like 6 or 5 or something.
Oh God!
So I was like, "What? They had newspaper strips? That's amazing!" So
those are so good. We should. I gotta read. I should just reread those. We could do a thing on that.
Yeah,
those are so awesome. But yeah, all of that kind of stuff, and I can tell even for older manga. I just started reading Bastard because Rob Liefeld mentioned all of those. Manga that he liked, that he drew inspiration from for him, and it's like literally you could tell Jim Lee, all those guys, McFarlane, those Image boys, they all borrowed manga. But that's why I liked it. I liked that they took manga's layouts and style
more dynamic, right?
Yeah,
just
and put
like
yeah. So anyways, but I never, so he's talking about obviously Ghost in the Shell. I just bought the big collection of that. Dominion, which I have. What were the other ones? Appleseed, I have all of Appleseed. So everyone that he mentioned, I had them all, but I never had Bastard. So I just started reading Bastard. I'm on like page 150 or something. I don't know. It's friggin' awesome. But the second I looked at it, I was like, this is it. Like, this is what it is for me. Like it's like when I saw those Star Wars strips, I was like, oh, these are so. I already knew they were going to be awesome. It's like page one, I'm like, oh, this is going to be really good. I can already.
And the art is amazing. Like I do adore the Marvel Star Wars from the 70s and 80s, but I acknowledge they're not good. Like, I know they're not.
I didn't read them.
They drag on and on, man.
Yeah, I did not read them.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
I do read them from time to time because like I have an affinity for them from my childhood, but they're not good. The newspaper strips are way better. Yeah.
Oh, dude, did you see he was gonna do Baron Munchausen? Oh my God, Harryhausen, Munchausen, the two Sens together or whatever. That would have been the Hausens. Or man, Baron Munchausen. That movie is one of my. We're doing Baron Munchausen on one of these.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely.
I can't remember if it's recently in I think it's Scary Monsters or Castle Frankenstein magazine. Do you read that or no?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. This sounds great.
So there's movie magazines. You can only really get them at Indigo Chapters and stuff because I can't subscribe to them because they don't ship out to Canada. So I have to buy them at like Chapters and all that. But there's something called Castle Frankenstein magazine. And the recent I think I have it around. The recent issue talked about Harryhausen movies he didn't make, and mostly Sinbad. But there's going to be a Sinbad where he goes to Mars, and it's basically on Carter Sinbad. I think I have it.
This is crazy. I've never heard of this magazine. This is amazing. I'm looking at it now. You had Judge Dredd strips. That's wicked.
This one.
Oh my God, this is the best magazine ever.
Demons. Yeah.
Oh my God.
These are great. Like movie magazines, usually they're of old stuff, and I love just buying them and reading through them. And you get a lot of, the thing is weird, you get a lot of information more from magazines than I do from the internet. There's all sorts of fun stuff.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah, that's the
Scary Monsters is another one. That's a good one. You can only get these in stores. You can't get them. You can't subscribe to them here in Canada.
You can order them online, though. You can order it online.
I tried.
It wouldn't let you?
No, it couldn't ship out. I'll try again. I wanted to subscribe, and it wouldn't let me. So.
Oh my God.
Film Facts is another one I used to love as well. Anyways, Scary Monsters, they revealed that there was going to be, and they have a breakdown, like a whole not synopsis, but a whole treatment of Sinbad on Mars, where he's fighting like the Martians. It's all the characters from the Burrow stuff, but anyway.
I mean, we could do like a Harryhausen like months
thing, yeah.
And just keep doing them all because like they're all the best.
Yeah.
Well, literally. The three Sinbads, they're 10 out of 10. And then we got I would say Jason, Clash. That they're both 10 out of 10. Those are like those five. What was the other one? What's another good? I think Gulliver's pretty good. I think those five are cool.
There aren't a lot of creatures in it. It's all of course perspective stuff.
Yeah. I'm thinking like those five. Yeah, don't F with the don't. Oh, you know what I was gonna put in? Oh, I don't think I have that. I should upload
Everyone
that.
screws with us.
Yeah.
I think it's twice as expensive here around.
Yeah, I'm like here.
Garbage day.
Huh?
No.
Could not. I thought you guys knew about this. You're like super nerds. Go to your local chapters. go to the magazine section and you'll find these things. They're awesome.
See, I don't go to the magazine section because magazines suck, right? I didn't realize there was good ones.
But they don't suck.
Right.
It's a secret world, dude.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. It was so funny too because actually I was at Shoppers today, and I was in the magazine section. I thought, let me see if there's any magazines, and I don't think they'll carry that Frankenstein thing or whatever. But I've got an Indigo at my mall here.
Check it out.
You're so for Kelly. Oh, I know. I saw those episodes. She saw that stuff. Yeah, she liked all of those.
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about Phantom of Paradise. I've got that on Blu-ray. That's a cool movie.
That's awesome. The Hell of It is a great song, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. Didn't know. Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. The world's punishing Canada for the brilliance of coronavirus. I know.
Yes.
I know.
And now his son is at it with that.
He's got two movies. Possessor, which I own and never watched on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And Infinity Pool, which I'm just gonna buy anyways.
It looks awesome, and people are dying over it online. So
it's body horror, so that'll be good.
Yeah,
Shotzi, who is right there, her autograph is right there, and I was wearing her shirt the other day. She has a channel where she reviews. She's a wrestler, but she reviews horror movies. She liked it, but she thought she was like the ending was a little bit off for her. So I'm like, we'll see.
Infinity Pool, yeah.
But Infinity Pool,
it's probably great.
Yeah, no, but she's not like she's not a nobody. Like like I looked at her top 10 horror movies of last year. It's like Terrifier 2. Yep. Okay. Check. Yeah. So it's like, Last Tiger. Oh man. But,
Platinum Blonde. Anyway,
I love Platinum Blonde. For sure. Well, of course. Why not? It's
yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Have you watched, I'm only talking about this here because okay, so this is a 2-disc version of Painting with Fire. But the 1 disc came with the Fire and Ice DVD. Were you able to get the Fire and Ice DVD? Because that's hard to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually extremely hard to get. I bought 2 of them when they came out because I'm like,
Yeah, by the time you showed it to me, and this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was already hard to find. And the Blu-ray came and went by me. So I didn't I don't even own it. Like that's the big failure of it. Yeah.
Well,
and I don't know why it's always so impossible to find. Like it should be freely available everywhere,
Yeah. I'll if I find my doubles are in.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Thanks. For tweeting it out. Awesome. I have a lot of duplicates in storage. So right there you see that Sucker Punch, and underneath that is the Crocodile Dundee Part 1 and Crocodile Dundee Part 2. So those are going into storage because I got better Sucker Punch I had a better version anyway. I don't know. I just my wife had a copy for some reason, so we're just putting that one away. If I remember to look, I'll see if I can find my duplicate Fire. I bought 2. I either bought 2 or 3 copies of it on DVD because I'm crazy. Like I'll buy multiple copies just for the shit of it, because just in case. So I can even give you a copy. Because the Blu-ray is obviously worth getting. I don't know if they're gonna do a 4K on it. So if they do 4K and Blu-ray, you can just get that. But it's definitely worth having. Now this, I don't know if this came out in a limited. This was limited to 2,000 units for the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack is awesome. I pre-ordered this along with Exterminator Part 2 and along with Return of the Swamp Thing, but this is awesome. So this is worth having. But yeah, I was going to talk about Painting with Fire. So on the DVD of Fire and Ice, you got the documentary, but this has extended and all this other bullshit. It's pretty damn awesome and worth having on its own, which is why I bought it. Because I thought, I got the documentary, I don't need to buy this. And then I looked this up anyways, and I was like, this is a 2-disc. I was like, well, it's only 1 disc on the Fire and Ice pack. So I thought I better just get this anyways. It's really good. And there's a Robert E. Howard documentary that was on. I think it's on Conan 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Do you own Conan 2011?
No, I don't.
You could probably get it real cheap.
Oh yeah, of
it's
course.
got a great Robert E. Howard thing on it.
That's
so
cool.
It's worth getting it for that. I did get. We're gonna do Red Sonja for sure.
Right.
I got the Red Sonja 4K.
Okay.
I mean,
God.
They
made a 4K of that?
They did. Well, you didn't see it on Retro Blasting. Michael got it.
Oh yeah.
I think me and him were the only two people on the planet that bought that. Not even the people who made that movie got it. They're like, yeah, we're good. Yeah. We've seen it. But I love that movie, by the way. And the soundtrack, and because they released it on 4K, the soundtrack got a re-release. So I got the soundtrack coming. I pre-ordered that too.
Yeah.
Or not pre-ordered it. I ordered it. It's just taking forever to get here. So because I like the soundtracks, I have all the Robert E. Howard soundtracks as well. But yeah, this one was like a super must have. Like when I saw this come up, I was like, oh, I must have this.
Yeah.
Should we talk about that? I mean, everyone in the comments knows this movie. Is there anything to say? Like, I think what's so cool about it, we can talk a bit about like why it's so cool. Like, you know, I love the idea of fire and ice. And for some reason, I always thought of fire being the bad thing.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that ice is the bad thing. And Necron to me is like so wicked. And like, I like how the spells and the magic affect him. Like it's a different thing. Like nowadays you just see like it's like magic. But the magic that magic that I'm used to is like the Conan, you know, it's like it takes something from you to produce these effects.
Yep.
And he's just like, oh, it's like he just can't, like he's pushing the ice and pushing it. And I mean, he's an interesting character. Obviously Dark Wolf is like beyond crazy, insane.
I like that he's the guy that actually dispatches Necron and not the guy you've been following all this time. Like the protagonist is the other dude, right? But like
Larn.
Yeah. But,
they never say his name properly. It's Larn. Larn. Larn.
Okay. Larn, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dark Wolf is the guy who shanks him in the end, so that's cool. You know,
and he's awesome. Like he nails them pretty good. And Necron is doing his powers against him, but it's just not working. But there's a lot of crazy things. Like he sends his son, the king or whatever, Gerald sends his son out, and the Necron just like destroys him. It's like he makes him kill all
the
his
other guys and kill himself.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Like you're watching this
and he's having fun doing it. Like he's just I remember that one scene where he rejects the girl. And like if you're watching this and you're young, you're like, why would you do it? This guy really is insane.
He is insane, I know. And he's like, get this like whore, get this bitch out of here and stuff. You're like, holy crap! Like you're like, this guy's insane.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about it. It's like everything was like after you watch. That's what I'm saying. It did change your life because after you watch that movie, you're like, I can't go back to Lady and the Tramp or whatever, like or whatever. I'm like, I like Lady and the Tramp.
Oliver and Company, or
it's like right. You go back, you're right, and you're like, this sucks.
I saw it in the theater, man.
No, I saw every Disney movie in the theater.
Yeah.
Fantasia, I fell asleep. I saw the beginning of Fantasia, then I fell asleep and woke up with that demon part. I was like, wow, this is awesome.
I saw Song of the South, the very last theatrical release of that, 1984, I think it was. I saw it in the theater. You'll never see that now, man. Anyway, yeah.
That's probably the only VHS Disney that's worth anything.
Well, it's everywhere in Europe. Like they
okay. Yeah, whatever, man. Like
release it with some sort of documentary explaining the thing if you're so embarrassed by it. But anyhow, Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice, yeah. So I mean, and then Larn was pretty cool. But then Dark Wolf comes in, you're like, oh shit, this guy's like taking care of business. If I was going to extend that movie, I'd have, when he shows up, he's like, oh, and then it's like, he's like, get out of here. It's like, I'll take care of this. It's like, oh, I was like, I want to see, like, I would make that like the most epic fight ever. And that's not even the main battle, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there aren't a lot of creatures in this. I find I wanted more, but like you don't want to populate it too much, and then it's like kind of outlandish. But like there's the big squid, there's the pterodactyls that they ride, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's that big giant lizard that comes out.
Yes, the big lizard,
which is which is actually a jump scare, depending on how ready you are for a jump scare in an animated movie. Because like you could be watching like, whoa, shit, that thing came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Song of the South soundtrack.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Swamp Thing's better. I love no, I don't like riff tracks. We went through this on Clobby's thing. I don't like riff tracks. I don't like these things. I like watching the thing proper. I know they're making fun of it. I legitimately love Return of the Swamp Thing. The poster's right there.
Yeah.
So hey, MMMMM, what's going on, brother?
Hey, finally did. Yep.
I was happy to be. Thanks for joining us, but dude, man, yeah, we like all the same stuff. What are you talking about? We love the same stuff. You're pretending like we don't love it.
Because you killed a certain movie.
We love Crawl. I had a Crawl shirt.
So, yeah.
I had a Crawl t-shirt. One of the first shirts I ordered from these websites where you can now order whatever you want. I ordered Crawl from Rotten Cotton. It's called Rotten Cotton.
I want that poster as a shirt.
They have it, Sean.
Yeah,
no, not a Rotten Cotton.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll take
it's not. Look, yeah, Crawl crushes. Yeah, see. Well, Crawl lost in our tournament, Hungry. I don't think you were on there. I know you're joking. Plus, this guy's designed some epic toys too. So don't forget about that. Bakshi and Don Bluth ruined for this. Yeah, like you can't go back now. Like, I mean, I can acknowledge that there's some good stuff. Obviously,
Secret of Nim would be on my list as well.
In the tournament,
what's funny about that movie is there really is a Secret of Nim. it's like a what the secret is, right?
I don't remember.
National Institute for Mental Health.
Oh, yes,
it's a real
okay.
thing.
Yes, that's right.
But that's and that's why all the animals are so intelligent. It's because they were all experimented on, and that's why they talk. So
right. I'm trying to see if I have that. Wait, I have Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water. When did I buy that?
I've seen that at your place.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in your catacombs somewhere, man.
Jesus Christ.
I've seen it.
I'm like looking at my list. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I didn't know. I've accidentally bought movies twice though, so I got to be careful. I now carry my list on my phone because I was at Walmart the other day and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Let me just double check. I'm like, oh yeah, I have this.
Yeah, you have it. Yeah. No, I know. I'm the same way with comics. You know that too. No, you're awful though. Like, I give you doubles of like.
You did give me doubles, so sometimes I'll just keep my mouth shut. But sometimes it's like I think Sean owns this, but I'll have it soon if he already does. No, but really the ROM ones, that was brutal because it's like that was 5 minutes ago.
It was Sectors.
Oh, Sectors. Sorry, Sectors. Yeah, you just bought it 1 minute ago. I'm like, you just bought Sectors. Yeah, I don't forget that quickly. I mean, I forget after like maybe 6 or 7 months, not 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, you just bought that. He's like, no, and you're like, no, I didn't. I'm like, you did. You're like, let me look at my bag. You're like, oh yeah, there they are. And I remember too because I really like Sectors.
Yeah.
Like I like insects. Like I don't like them that I want them around me, but they look cool to me. So
it's a crazy toy line, but
crazy toy line.
Yeah.
Woo. It's great.
She's
great. Yeah, but why does that powder work? Like we talked all about that.
I know.
No, we haven't been. Oh my God, Eddington, yes.
Oh yeah.
I like that. Deep Space Nine is my favorite, one of my favorite shows of all time.
I'll just say this about like actors that went on and stuff, and I totally forgot about this. The original face is Captain Power. Like in the pilot, it was a different guy playing face, and that guy went on to play Captain.
Oh my God! Oh, we should do
Captain. I think his name is.
We could do Captain Power on a segment.
Oh yeah.
Oh man!
Weird. Would I tell the like people younger than me at work about Captain Power, they don't believe me. And I'm like, the thing is, we had this technology, but you can't do it with a with a regular TV now because their lines aren't there. There's no scanning, so you can't shoot the thing and it shoots back at you.
Right.
But anyway, yeah.
Oh, I love Captain Power. Batman shirt makes Sean more much more looking like Batman than this Conan. Oh, Conan. I'm gonna show you me as Conan. I'll find that while we're talking.
Oh yeah, find it. Yeah.
So what was, and Sean's got Scarface, which is really good too.
Scarface, yeah.
So what did you think? So did you rewatch Fire and Ice for this or no?
I rewatched it for this.
So what would you think on a fresh viewing of it?
Oh, it's probably better than I remembered. I mean, like look, my new thing and probably my old thing as well is I love things that are unapologetic and because I find a lot of movies for the past 20 years have sort of been cringing and wincing while they do their thing. Right. It's most of horror nowadays. It's most of fantasy nowadays. Snarky comments, toned down designs. They're embarrassed by what they're doing. Right. And this movie is unapologetically unashamed. Like this is fantasy. There's like, dudes fighting each other and stuff. There's like mega backgrounds. I love the like you save the lava for the end. Like the guy says, like, I'm going to release the lava. And it's like, oh, what's that going to look like, right? They're going to totally release it at the end of this movie, man. And he releases, it's like one little lever and like all this shit happens and like destroys the freaking ice. And what I love about that too, realistically, it would all be steam and you wouldn't really see anything. But they're like,
they do have some steam though.
Yeah. You just see it like destroy all the ice and stuff like that. It's great. Yeah, no, I love the action of it. The rotoscoping looks better now than it ever has because I just miss that style. They'll never really do that again.
Right.
Like cell animated rotoscoping. It looks breathtaking. I don't care that you think it's cheating or something like that. It's still amazing. Yeah, no, I thought it was awesome and a well-paced action fantasy thing. Probably if you put in a pantheon of all of the fantasy stuff, like take away the fact that it's animated, it would kill a lot of the movies that we were like. It would kill Krull. It would probably kill a lot of the stuff that we're going to review for the fantasy tournament.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the great fantasy movies. So yeah, I thought it was. I've always thought it was awesome, but I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Like it doesn't fade or get worse with time. Right. I think it's more and more timeless as we move away from 1983, right?
Yeah, my thing too is like it's like literally it's just the damn best. Like I don't know, I watched it again the other day and I've seen it a bunch of times and you're like, wow, like every second of this is awesome. If this was a live action fantasy and it was exactly what that was, you'd be like, this is the best movie. And I would love to make that movie, but they wouldn't want it because I think it would be problematic or whatever, right? Like they'd be like, oh, it's like,
it is the roots of this. This is the fantasy genre, right?
Right.
It's like this is exactly what fantasy was back then and is the roots of it with like the scantily clad, like everyone's scantily clad, like you see that guy's butt the whole time too. So it's like everyone's scantily clad, mega fights, violence, all that stuff. It's, I don't know what to tell you. And Tigra is not like an idiot or something,
No, she's cool. I like Tigra. And like, she's trying to do stuff and she's like, no, we have to go do this and we have to do that. So she's trying to like lead the action a bit.
Yeah.
But okay, I found, here you go, Masters. This one's for you, buddy. There's me as Conan. Look. So there's me posing as Conan. Isn't that fun? I found these while I was at it. I showed this one before. Sean, you had the same cake, right? The Superman cake?
Yes, yeah. We all had the same cake, yeah.
I can't tell how old I was in that.
It was a Superman pancake.
Oh, 7. I was 7.
I was 7 when I had my cake too.
Yeah.
Oh my god! So that year, 1983, Superman 3 came out. So yeah.
So here's some of the other pictures. There's some of my toys that I had with the old TV there. I had Dukes of Hazzard toys. There's Fisto's Strider. There's Panther. There's Castle Grayskull in the back. Oh my God! Look in the back. I had under the TV. I had a KFC toy. I had Colonel. What's the guy's name?
Oh yeah, Colonel Sanders. What the hell? It looks like a bust or something.
Yeah, I had a bust. I think it was a piggy bank or something.
It's a piggy bank, man.
A random toy.
Oh my God!
There's this one here.
Yeah.
Look, I've got the Yoda puppet.
Yep. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember it had rooted hair in the
top. I had rooted hair. And in the back, I got Superman and Spider-Man toys.
You got the Spider-Man parachute man.
Oh, I had every parachute man you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
I had all of them. And Bo and Luke, or Bo is next to him. That's the little guy there.
Yeah.
And that's all the cars. So what in the background you can see the General Lee. I don't know if you can see anything more in this one. That's kind of the other side. Oh, I have Popeye. So see up there, that's Popeye figures underneath the.
Oh, I see them.
Yeah, you can see.
Oh, that's Popeye. A cool Popeye figure. Yeah,
I had a couple there. Oh, Etch-a-Sketch. That's classic.
You got the stuffed Superman in the corner.
There. Yeah. So look in that section. You can see Spider-Man and Superman. So Spider-Man could stick to you. He had Velcro.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he would stick to you. So I would stick him on me. Yeah, so there you go. It's like,
look at this spoiled brat, man.
Oh, dude. Yeah, but it hasn't gone anywhere. It's still here somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, we're like super behind here. You still have the Yoda puppet? Awesome, dude. You let yourself go. Oh, I know. No, when I took that picture, I was at least 50 pounds heavier. Or maybe 100 pounds heavier. I don't remember exactly when we went. Yeah. So rewatching this again, it was just so amazing. Like the music, I love the way that they have just the Frazetta pictures in the beginning with that song, the music to get you into it. It's like telling the story of where you're at.
At first there's like mega text. I'm like, oh, and then it shows just the pictures and stuff.
The pictures, which is good.
Continuing to talk,
And I like how it's like, I gave it away for we had all the same stuff. Awesome, dude. So later on, I got all the He-Man stuff, which is in different pictures. If I showed you my Christmas pictures, you'd be like, it's just crazy. So then we see Larn, and I like that Larn doesn't have a connection to Firekeep. He's just like a different guy or whatever.
Dude that just wants to kill Necro, and
yeah. And then so you've got the king. Is it's Jero? I can never remember. Yeah, Gerald. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Gerald's got his guys, and he's like, okay, we have to stand up to him. But then later he's like, okay, well, they kidnapped Tigra, and it's like we have to like try to negotiate something. Mm-hmm. And then you have Larn, who's just on his own. And for a while there's not even dialogue. It's just him going around. And it gets you to the world because you're like, how is he surviving and what he's doing? And he's fighting those guys off, and he's, in the river. Yeah. And then you go back to Tigra and the way she escapes by she's like doing her little sexy dance, and she goes down and up and down and up. And then she goes down and they're like, ooh. And then they're like, oh shit, she's not coming back up. Where'd she go? That was awesome.
Yeah.
Right. It's like so cool. And so it's like, she's smart. She's like, okay, these guys are horny. And I'm like, I got to use my sexuality or whatever. And then Dark Wolf just comes out of nowhere. You're like, this guy's now he doesn't show up for about half an hour. Yeah, but man, when he shows
he shows up in the very beginning in the distance.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And
it looks like a death dealer, almost like Death Dealer.
Yeah, he looks like Death Dealer. That is the pose when he's on the horse and the big like axe and everything.
Yeah. So he looked like Death Dealer a bit. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, this is awesome. And then after we see Dark Wolf, we go back, and then there's like, I keep forgetting there's all these little extra creatures that pop up. Like, for example, there's that witch woman that's got that troll, her son, the big guy,
Right, the troll son,
That was so cool, and they showed up for
it's
one.
random, and then she comes back as a zombie.
She comes back as a zombie. So I think if you were doing this now, I would make it maybe 90 minutes or 95, not more than 100 for sure.
Yeah.
And I would maybe extend those parts, like give her maybe more of a battle, like she shoots spells at those guys. I like the idea that Necron is not the only guy out there that's got magic powers, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's got a lot. So all but over. Okay. And the freaky ghoul. Yeah. So there's all these weird little things that we see that we just, it's could not be just saying it's a bank. There you go. It was a bank. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. We have all these things. It's like, can you imagine all those things realized? Like you could have made so many figures.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah, they didn't make 3/4-inch figures of this, which I guess was by choice, because like this wasn't meant for kids. Although kids would have eaten it up, right? You know, I don't think there's anything really bad here, other than being emotionally invested in the people that die, perhaps. But there's nothing really. Like what's her face is scantily clad, but as a kid you're like, oh, she's just naked or whatever. Like you're not really.
I think you're desensitized to it pretty quickly. Also, it's like she's not actually naked. Also, it's who cares? Like, it's not that bad. Like, there's not actual like sex in it. Like, heavy metal has.
Well, heavy metal has sex.
Has sex in
heavy
it.
Metal, yeah.
So which is fine. Like, but this isn't nudity. It's Frazetta. They're all naked, right? Now here's a question, and I know that if they did this right now in live action, they would definitely answer this question for me. But they would make Dark Wolf a black guy, right?
Maybe,
I would assume that they would do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell even as a kid. It's like, was he, because he's clearly not the Firekeep guys.
No,
he's not Larn's guys, and he's obviously not Necron's guys.
He's somewhat Native Indian.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking he was like, because he even had the
he looks like Red Wolf from Marvel Comics.
Right,
it's the same costume, you know.
Where
you know Red Wolf, he was in Avengers briefly in the late 70s, but
let's take a look at him.
Yeah. But he's got the same thing over his eyes. And
yep. I know who this is.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that is Red Wolf. He must have come after.
Probably just before. He's not 83.
So he's is he an older guy? He looks amazing though, actually. Well, I've seen some modern versions of him, like they've redrawn him. He looks amazing. Yeah. So he first appeared in Avengers number 80, which is 1970. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know if that was copied. Well, I mean, Jerry Conway and Roy Thomas were involved with this. They would have known what Red Wolf is. I don't know exactly how this movie was made. I mean, maybe you know because you watch documentaries and stuff. But like, is it written first, or was it like sketched out, or like previously made sketches, and they're like, oh, let's make this into a movie?
I think from what I remember, it's based on the worlds of Frazetta. So it's not like they said, oh, let's go do this. I think it was more like they had these works that he did, and he created these works, and then it's like, okay, let's create a story around that. And I think he was involved. I'm not sure. I watched the documentaries when I got the DVD, and I just forgot. But the same thing is what they're doing with Dawn Attack right now. I don't know if you grabbed Dawn Attack.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Labyrinth. Like, I didn't know till years later that it was based on a series of pictures that I can't remember the artist made. They're like, oh, let's make a whole movie on this.
I didn't know that
let's
either.
Spin a whole film about this. Yeah,
we'll do Labyrinth. We'll put that on the docket for this too.
That's awesome.
Well, Labyrinth, they came up with a great RPG. I look for RPGs all day. That's all I do. Like, there's a great Labyrinth. I'm trying to get you to buy that Transformers one, and then you can run some. I want you to run a campaign with
Transformers. It's G1, right?
It's whatever you want. It's an RPG, so you make it. I'm sure it gives you all of the stats. It's like D&D. You make your own story, right? They have G.I. Joe as well, and a new Marvel one just came out.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here we got the artist name, Brian Froud.
Brian Froud, yeah. Was the Labyrinth artist.
We'll definitely do a thing. Yeah, I was thinking classics. I was thinking about this yesterday too. I was like, if they do it today, they'll make Necron the white guy because he's a bad guy, but he has to be white, right? Because he is. But I would make him not like Chris Star, but like something where it's like he's a bit like it feels like he's almost like ice. Not
well, the ice magic has overtaken him to the point where he's been body horrored into it. Like he's half that and half human now.
I would have his hair like the widow's peak that he has. I would have it like more crystally.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's like, and maybe even like there's like little bits of like ice coming, like little shards of ice coming off of his hair. Sometimes like it's just like he's morphing into the ice.
Do like this look only because he's I think that scene where he rejects Tigra is supposed to be a reveal in that like how truly insane he is, and that he's human and this insane like and this racked by evil is sort of the shock of it.
Right.
I don't know. Like even the mother is shocked. So
yeah, I know. And he's like, "Mother, get out of don't stop interfering or whatever." Yeah. But it reminds me of Robin Hood, where Alan Rickman is like, he goes, "For once, can't I have something pure? Will you stop interfering?" Robert, this movie cannot be made today. That's basically where we're at. I don't think they can make it because or they'll bastardize it.
Well, you can't make like I've been listening a lot to old time radio and stuff, and that really is the pulp magazines off the airwaves back then, right? There was like more pulp adventure, but on and like you can't the roots of this stuff you can't do anymore, And I think that like I mean, and that's why a lot of this stuff is gonna go away and be replaced by I don't know, like a more boring version of it. But you can't relish the roots of it and where it came from anymore, So something like this is pulp. Fantasy stuff. It's more sword and sorcery than fantasy. It's not like Arthurian stuff. It's more like Conan, Rob D. Howard stuff. But
I'd say sword and sorcery.
Yeah, having fun with the magics and with the scantily clad people and with the fighting and like with the orcish type characters and all the creatures. Having fun with all that isn't allowed anymore. Because, did you know that orcs are a stand-in for this race? Like, well, maybe it started like that for somebody, but like it's not that now. I don't know what to tell you. If you look into all this stuff, it's all offensive. But it's like it's what you make of it as a reasoning adult,
Right.
Anyway.
Which one's this? So the late radio show? I will look that up.
Late horror show.
That's the one.
Talking about classical. I love that channel. Yeah, so they do 11 hour long marathons of this stuff, and I listen to all of it. Those guys are awesome.
So for the one is that is it people talking about stuff or is it the actual programs?
No, it's the actual radio shows.
Okay, that's
so they'll do 11 hours of mystery and 11 hours of horror and 11 hours of comedy, or
so I think I do old time radios. I have a few that I go to right now. I'm listening to Chandu.
Chandu,
Chandu, yeah. Have you done?
I have the serials for it. Return of Chandu.
Oh yeah, those are fucking awesome.
And with what's his name?
Did I get you onto that?
I bought that at CNE, so I don't know.
Okay, so no, yeah, the CNE guy, he was awesome.
The last year he was there, and he's not there anymore. Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
Yes, you know what I'm talking about, man.
He is awesome.
What I loved he had a TV, a little small TV that was playing. I think it was Temple of Doom, and like at his booth.
Yeah, wait. I only have Chandu the Magician. Did you get the second one?
Yeah, with what's his name? Oh,
Yeah,
frick.
with
How am
Bela Lugosi
Bela
or
Lugosi? Yeah.
oh shit, I don't have that second one. That didn't come. Oh,
Oh,
I have a Blu-ray of
no, I have a
Sean.
DVD. Yeah,
Oh shit, the Blu-ray is bloody awesome. Like
yeah.
it's so looks good. Okay, sorry. So yeah, so he had a what did he
Yeah,
end up playing?
well, no, he was playing Temple of Doom, and like I remember, I was trying to like hunt for all his DVDs and Blu-rays that he had there, and there's like a pile of kids just like staring at this Indiana Jones movie, and I'm like, oh shit, he's like showing a new generation, like so, and to him that's probably a new movie because
Right.
it's like it's like this freaking like 1984 freaking film, right? But
No.
I thought it was awesome. But yeah, I only have Return of Chandu.
Oh, and
But
I've
I
got
know there's
Chandu.
a whole radio series of that. Yeah.
So yeah, the radio series is really good. I'm on episode. Oh shit, I don't know. I took a screenshot. I have to take screenshots. I actually listened to this is a bit weird, but well, maybe not. I listened to World War II radio broadcasts.
Yeah, you
So
said yeah.
I'm almost finished the second half of 1944. So D-Day just happened, and they're just reporting it back, and they're saying, "Oh, the Germans are trying to downplay," and da, da, da. So I don't know, whatever. So I'm just on that part. I love radio shows. I have a good collection of radio shows that I have just MP3s, but also that I bought. Serial Squadron. I keep trying that guy wants to come on and talk to us.
Yeah.
I just can't seem to get him to come on.
Yeah.
So there's a Facebook group in a store called the Serial Squadron, and they do movie serials and stuff. So like I order all my serials from them, and they also do radio shows. So I picked up Blue Beetle, which is I think Blue Beetle is my favorite, which is kind of weird. I listen to them. I listen to each one at least 2 or 3 times. There's not many of Blue Beetle.
The original Captain Midnight, like the Fawcett version that they put on the radio. Those radio shows are awesome too.
Yeah. So there's a few good channels out there. I also like the Basil Rathbone did Sherlock Holmes. Nigel Bruce and Basil Rathbone reprised their roles in a radio thing. They're
my
good.
go-to, like lately horror show is awesome. If I want to, but they do a grab bag thing. When I want specific ones, I go to Comic Book Plus.
Comic Book Plus. I discovered that.
Yeah, you're the one that told me about it. And I was like, this is the greatest website I've ever.
That was one of the best days ever.
It's still the best.
It's still the best.
Yeah,
dude. Look, I'm pretty good. Sometimes I'm really good. There's a few where like, oh, buddy, I just found the
comic series that no one's ever heard of that I've read from that thing, like World War III and like freaking. I love their nuclear war comics. They're like,
and you can download it. Did you sign? Did you sign up? Just sign up. It's free. You sign up. It's free.
Yeah.
And you can download them on CBR.
You can download them. It's crazy. Yeah.
I have all of Spy Smasher. I think they have Blue Beetle on there. At least Dan Garrett Blue Beetle.
They have
they do.
1,000 Superman episodes, and that's the most I've seen on anything. Like even archive.org doesn't have as many as they do. So
awesome. I do go to archive.org.
They have a lot too
for stuff too.
They
for
do
the
have
radio
all
show,
the Ovaltine episodes of Annie. Those are the best. They talk about Ovaltine for 7 minutes.
Man, it's beautiful.
And the Secret Decoder stuff does spell out like an Ovaltine commercial, just like A Christmas Story. Yeah.
Oh my god. Look, dude. Like I'll do Comic Book Plus in the chat here because people are asking. Here. Comic Books Plus. When I don't know how I discovered this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I've just discovered like a gold mine here. I don't know what. I don't know. And then I started getting a bit scared. I'm like, this seems too awesome. I'm like, maybe there's something weird.
Too good. Like,
yeah.
This is like a trap of some sort.
I thought it was going to be spam or something.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Something's wrong with this website. No, I've been a member for forever.
I've been a member for a good 10 years now.
10 years, yeah, because it's my YouTube. It's my Battle Armor account or whatever. It's like that's when I created it for this channel. So I've been there for 10. I go to that one. That's my go-to. for these older ones. And and especially if you want old comics, you got to be careful how you search. So search in the search engine and it'll pop up, and just scroll down. Then you'll see, you make sure you go to the links that are within Comic Book Plus, and they give you all of the links there.
I've seen some of the comics they have on there reprinted in bookstores, and I'm like, oh shit, I read the whole thing of this 2 years ago. I'm not gonna buy this.
They steal that from there, eh? I saw a guy selling Complete Spy Smasher, and it's like, okay, that's from fucking Comic Book Plus.
Yeah, wow. That's awful.
Like, he literally printed it himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Brendan, what's going on, dude? Brendan's caught up now. Captain Power was the best. Oh, I know. Okay, yeah. Captain Power was the best. So it's like, no, great site for so long. Hurrah, Golden Age stuff. Yeah. No, this right here is insane.
Yeah. Sign up, free. Everything you could ever want, man. You'll have a ball just going through all that stuff.
I mean, it's insane. Great. It's insane. So the other one that I didn't know about, though, was Mike's Amazing World of Comics, which is
that was a Clobby thing. Yeah,
that's a Clobby thing. That's going to be next. So next Thursday we're going to do the Days of Thunder, the awesome comics of the '90s, and we're going to talk about everything that came out on January of 1991.
Yeah,
and we're going to do all the '90s. I can't wait to get. And Hungry Boy, don't listen to this part. Can't wait to get to my Image Boys. I can't wait to get to the because I think Hungry Boy doesn't like the Image guys.
Oh yeah, listen, we're of that time. I mean, like, I love all the comics, but like '90s, we were kids and buying this stuff. I
listen,
still fondly
Jack
remember a lot.
Look, Jack Kirby, Neil Adams, John Byrne. Nobody's saying those guys are awesome.
There's still a generation that revered those guys.
Yes,
like, that's the thing. And nowadays, you can't find that in the current crop of comic book artists and writers. They denigrate them. They make fun of all these people.
Yes,
and you know what? Back in those days, like, you could say what you want about, like, about Eric Larson and freaking all those guys, but they love, like, Todd McFarlane and whatnot.
They love Jack Kirby.
Kirby. They loved all those guys.
Listen,
the last generation that did.
Rob Liefeld loved John Byrne, and John Byrne literally said Rob Liefeld's a piece of trash, and Rob Liefeld's like, I don't care, I still love John Byrne, it's awesome.
Yeah,
and he's like, and he bought original pages. His biggest collection is John Byrne pages, and it's like, those guys love those older guys, and they worship them. Mm-hmm. Everyone doing comics now doesn't give a crap. They don't even give a crap about the '90s guys. They don't care about anything. They don't care about the original creators. They don't care about anything. So it's pretty bad. Yeah, right. So he's a big guy.
You
don't have to worry about them being late.
That's true. Yeah. Whew.
Like,
that's what killed it for me. I couldn't keep up with some of them. Yeah.
Well, whatever. I'm still buying them all. But yeah. So Fire and Ice. I mean, I think this should be a comic book. So the Frazetta Girls, if you follow them on Facebook, which I do, they're in April.
Yeah.
There's an entire Frazetta universe coming out in comics. So right now, it looks like there's only Death Dealer and Dawn Attack.
Right.
But they're launching a lot more. So that announcement got me thinking about Fire and Ice and say, now is the time. Because I wanted to do it, and then when our buddy Nick Weiser did it, I felt, I don't want to try to, like, upstage or try to take his spotlight or whatever. So I put it on hold. But then they announced this. I thought, you know what, we've got to do this because this is the time to do it. And I mean, the backgrounds, the animation, the story is really good. It's short, quick. It gets right to the point. There's nothing wasted. This is the good thing about animation, because it's animation. It's so tough to do everything. They don't waste a lot of time with stuff that is pointless. Like, I don't know what movie I just watched. I can't remember. I just watched something not too long ago, and I thought, like, man, why are these movies so long? Like, there's so many pointless things going on in these films, and you're like, even in animation too. And sometimes too, now it's like, what did I just see? Damn it, I'm trying to remember. I'm like, why is this thing so long? And it's like, who cares? I mean, the Batman comes to mind.
CGI ruined things too, because, like, it's like, I know people are gonna get on my ass for this, but it's probably easier to do things to whip up a scene in CGI than it is to obviously like draw out and cell animate something. Because like once you make the models, I'm pretty sure that you could just like, well, let's have a scene where these two talk for like 5 minutes or whatever. It's like,
well, they do talking heads all the.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say this Death Dealer. I can't show some of it because there's nudity on it, but just as a thing, like 2 seconds in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's okay. Page 1, there's these guys here. Page 2, this guy attacks.
Yeah.
This is issue 1, page 2.
Yeah.
These guys get destroyed.
Happens, yeah. Right.
Death Dealer comes and kicks the shit out of everybody. More kicking the shit out of everybody. Magic kicking the shit out of these wolves. Okay, now they're traveling back. So finally, we have some talking. Then they show his awesome lair.
Yeah, his awesome lair.
Then this stuff happens, which I can't show. I'm covering it. Okay.
Okay.
So we got into nudity.
Uh-huh.
Then we have. Well, I can't show you this page either. Then these guys attack. What the shit? This comic's almost over. Then he's fighting this creature this entire time.
Yeah.
More fighting the creature. Mm-hmm. More fighting the creature. The end. To be continued.
Yeah.
You know who's continuing it? Me. I'm like, this is the damn best. I'm continuing this. Like, I don't understand. Then I bought Immortal X-Men or something.
Yeah.
Fucking talking the whole way.
Yeah, I didn't visit the comic shop today. I'll pop by tomorrow, but I'm actually because I'm getting low on funds, I'm dropping a whole bunch of stuff. Like I'm not following Spider-Man anymore.
You were holding on.
I held on for a while, man.
Hold on.
But no, I'm gravitating more towards like fantasy stuff and like anything Ablaze does, I'm cool with, and stuff like Death Dealer. Like I was picking up Death Dealer for a while, I'm only missing issue 1. I got everything else
of this Death Dealer.
Yeah, the new one.
Why didn't you tell me? I could have got it. They just did half price.
Yeah. Okay.
My phone's charging.
Yeah.
Text me. You don't care what cover? Do you care what cover?
No, I don't care what cover, man.
Okay, just text me Death Dealer 1. I can get it for you like ASAP because I'm positive he had at least 1 or 2 copies left, and no one's. Nobody's running to get Death Dealer. Yeah. I'm telling you, the Spawn titles, it's all action fantasy. Well, you've been reading them.
Yeah.
Death Dealer, Dawn Attack. What else is on my list?
I love Creepshow. I got Creepshow 4 last week.
Yep. I've been getting that digital.
But I like that style. I like the horror anthology stuff,
Yeah.
But like I dropped Star Trek. I know it sucks, but like I stopped with issue 3 of the new IDW one.
Are you talking about Discovery?
Happens. There's nothing. No, it's like an anthology Star Trek.
Oh.
Most of it I'm just like all the mainstream stuff. They've lost heart. They lost heart a long time ago. There's nothing fun or cool or inventive going on in there.
No.
So
the only the only regular book I'm reading is Iron Man, and it's really like but I'm reading it because it's like I feel like I feel obligated to read something. I've been collecting New Mutants. I'm only collecting it because it's New Mutants, and X-Men's like my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like Cyclops is my favorite guy. I want to collect something, and I'm not even collecting X-Men. I'm getting it digital though. But I am buying New Mutants because it's New Mutants, and I've always kind of gotten New Mutants. But I haven't read the last like 6 issues of New Mutants.
Yeah,
like I'm buying it just to buy it.
I swear to God, the only thing I know you're gonna laugh. The only thing I buy that's Marvel or DC is freaking Monkey Prince. Because the thing is,
I know you like Monkey Prince.
I like Monkey Prince, and I can tell you why. It's everything that people say about like woke and all that stuff. This is not that. It's like it's taking from the old like Monkey King Journey to the West stuff,
awesome.
right? Which I was like, that's great fodder for comic books. And he sucks at what he does. Like he's learning, right? That it's all a hero's journey, and they're doing it properly. And I like the whole angle that like his parents are villain henchmen, and they have to move from town to town. And he's like, "Why are we moving?" And then he finds out that they're henchmen for like the penguin and all that stuff. So and they're keeping it from him and stuff. That's fun. You know, it's a cool comic. No one reads it because they think it sucks. But I like it. But out of everything, out of Superman and Batman, World's Finest, and all that stuff, that's the only thing I like is Monkey Prince.
I got Action 1051.
Yeah.
I skimmed it. I'm like, yep, not reading it. I'll read this. I'll try the next one. Yeah. Nothing happens. Yeah. Where's the Superman action?
It's like Metallo is charging at a desk for like 3 issues. I swear, but that's what he's doing. He's charging for something, right? He's plugged into the wall.
Yeah, I've been reading it.
Yeah,
it's like this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I started reading Bastard because Rob Liefeld threw it up on his thing, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is like right away.
Mm-hmm.
First thing, they're being attacked by these monsters.
Yeah.
They summon Bastard, who is the Dark Schneider. They summon DS. He comes in and does his spell and like destroys everybody. Then he's like, okay, I'm taking over. And you're like, right, like there's no talking heads for pages and pages. And it's like, where's the call to action?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Did you
understand.
miss that part of Joseph Campbell's teachings? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, where's the yeah.
Adventure. Like, where is this?
I gotta tell you something, man. Rob Liefeld called it. He's like, these comic book writers are trying to write movie scripts. And they think that they're writing this big epic drama and this big character thing. It's like, oh, it's all about characterization. No, it's not. It's about having cool action. I didn't look Judge Dredd. Hungry's got his Dredd thing. We love Judge Dredd. You know why I like Judge Dredd? Because he looks badass. Yeah. That's the reason I got Judge Dredd comics. Let's face the facts. I don't look. The stories are fun and they're great. The art is great.
That was the draw. He looks.
Judge Dredd look cool. I'm like, this guy looks like he's badass. He has a big, huge gun. He's got a cool helmet. I'm going to check this out. That's it.
Yeah.
As a kid, I thought Spider-Man was, and still do, Spider-Man's one of the best designed characters of anything, of any character.
Yeah.
And every version of Spider-Man still looks cool. Like, I'm like, even when they change it around a bit or they do a new Spider-Man, man, that design is 10 out of 10.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I got Spider-Man comics as a kid. What do you think I was getting? Or you think I knew who these characters were? Do you think I was like, it's very interesting that Peter Parker is kind of like a teen? And what? Yeah. What are you talking about? It's like Spider-Man look cool. He's fighting a scorpion guy on the cover. I'm like, well, this looks pretty badass. Like that's literally the only. Same with Batman. Same with Superman. Same with Incredible Hulk. Name your favorite guys. There you have it.
Yeah.
Oh, they can't draw anything. The other thing too is Rob.
It's pretty amazing. Like, when I see something that looks like old school comic art, I'm drawn to it now. And you know what dirty trick they play too is they'll have everything has like B and C and D covers, right? But there's usually like a retro looking one that looks like a Silver Age or a Bronze Age. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, no, you know what? I'm putting this back. And it's like, I know the interiors are just the same old shit, right? They're trying to entice me, right? So, yeah.
No, never get sucked into that.
No, I know.
No, I know. I'm so pumped for this Frazetta universe now. Like, this is good. And it looks like they're doing some anthology Frazetta ones.
Oh, great.
So shit. I knew you were going to be pumped. I was going to text you. I was like, oh, Sean's going to be pumped for this. I know it.
Yeah, man.
So I'm waiting for those big time. Look, I'm collecting the Spawn titles and freaking the Frazetta titles.
Yeah.
And for Christ's sakes, I bought a Marc Millar or whatever. I bought Nemesis, and I'm like,
Nemesis
wow,
Reloaded, yeah.
I loved Nemesis Reloaded. And I'm like, wow, I've degraded myself to like Marc Millar comics now because like there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
I love Nemesis, and then I went back and read the old Nemesis, which I thought was awesome. So whatever, I always bash Mark, but now I'm kind of like, I kind of liked Nemesis. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. All of the mainstream
I'll
ones,
probably take the plunge and go into manga at some point. I'm just afraid because I'm gonna buy tons of like
No, just get the app.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Just buy the app. You'll have to buy the app. It's impossible. My wife is reading about 30 manga right now.
Oh yeah.
You can't buy them all. I'm reading Spy Family, and I'm now started Bastard. I'm trying to go back and do. Did you see my Ghost in the Shell thing I got? It's like like this. It's all of it. It's the complete Ghost in the Shell.
That's crazy.
Thing.
Yeah.
It was like $70 or $80, but I mean, like it's
that's pretty good.
Solid. It's like a
pretty
solid.
Yeah,
it's very solid, and the art is freaking crazy.
Yeah,
but we have some of the older ones. Like my wife only buys volume 1 to put it on her shelf, and then she uses the Shonen Jump app, and then I can tell you which app to use for everything else. So if you want Akira, you know what else is good is Blam.
Okay.
It's BLAME, so it looks like blame, but I think it's pronounced Blam. Berserk is like the damn best. Lone Wolf and Cub is my favorite manga. So there's like a lot out there. Like I mean, that's the thing. Chainsaw Man. Look, the manga is destroying American comics. Like it's not even close. It's obliterating. Now, Sean, you'll remember this. You and I used to go to the shows, and it'd be like, oh, there's a little manga section. You go to Chapters, Indigo. There'd be like, let's say, like one of my shelves here, a shelf of manga.
Yeah.
Now you go.
Now it's
like manga. My Indigo.
No, I've seen it grow.
Yeah. My Indigo, which is I'm in Square One Mall. I don't know if people know that mall. I live right next to it. Like I can see it out the window there.
Right.
So that's a huge mall. That's one of the bigger malls.
Yeah.
You go to that Chapters or Indigo, whatever it's called, Chapters Indigo. You go there, they have an entire wall of manga.
Yeah.
And the American graphic novels are 1/3.
Yeah. It used to be there was a wall of the American graphic novels, and now it's reversed. You're right. The Chapters up by my work, it's 2 solid aisles of manga, and then there's shelves of the American stuff, but they're bare. Like the bottom halves are bare, and the top halves are like scant. There's not a lot of it. It's being overtaken. The thing is that there's something for everyone in manga, and it's not battened down by some sort of genre. I love superheroes and stuff, but comics are more than that. And the thing is that, like, for whatever reason, most of the stuff that's coming out in comics is not very imaginative, and it's not really taking the comic medium like full advantage of it. It's like, I don't know why I'm buying like a $7 book, and that's like 30 pages of people sitting around or talking like to each other about some bullshit around the table. It's like, who is writing this? You know,
well, people who want to write
what's
scripts.
Their background in comics, right?
There's zero background. That's what Rob Liefeld is saying. There's zero background in comics. They want to write. They're screenwriters. They want to write scripts or whatever. These artists are bullshit. They don't give a shit. Comic Vet, what's going on, Chris?
Comic Vet. Yeah.
Chris is going to be with us. Oh no, Sean, you're not going to be there.
Saturday. I'll miss that one, but
you'll miss that one. That's okay. We'll.
It's a fun one, though, man.
This one's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
And Christopher Reeve Superman's going on top. But,
yes.
But oh man. Yeah, like there's a lot of good ones. Like actually, Chris was pumped for this Dua Power Bomb. I like the art of that. That was a cool comic. There's a lot of these ones from Image or this Death Dealer's Opus. Death Dealer and Dawn Attack are Opus.
Right.
Gilmore Girls. No. Oh, I hate Gilmore Girls.
Me too. Yeah, no,
I can't do it.
My wife loves Gilmore Girls, but
my wife doesn't.
Yeah, well, I bought her the big super pack, and she's watched that 3 times over.
Wow,
of the whole thing. Yeah, it's
oh my gosh, yeah, no, we hate that, and we're like anti Gilmore Girls, but my wife likes Friends, so there's that. That's the counter to that.
Oh god,
but that's the only thing she likes. That's like, it's so weird. Like, you know, we watch Samurai Gourmet and stuff, which is a great show. It has nothing to do with cooking. It has to do with, or it's weird. It's like a guy who's retired and he goes around to different restaurants and just eats there. And then when he gets upset, he imagines that there's a samurai there that fixes the problem.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome.
Okay.
Of course, it's based on like stories in a manga because it's just all awesome. But yeah, you need maybe a toilet tier for, yeah, really. DC is like a mess of physical guide, physical media. Yeah, the problem, yeah, so I go every week and buy this stuff. The problem with manga is that it's expensive and you need to buy a lot of it. And my wife does not like owning a lot of things. This room makes her like upset. She has like her 3 shelves and everything is aligned. It's just manga. It's all aligned perfectly.
Yeah.
And she has one top shelf of some figures, statues.
Yeah.
And then that's what she likes. So she buys volume 1 to support the thing and have it on her shelf. But then we pay for the app. We don't pirate manga. We actually it's like $4 a month and it's all the Shonen Jump mangas.
Yeah.
Now the ones that are not Shonen Jump, like Akira or Ghost in the Shell and that kind of a thing, like those you do have to get through, various other apps, which they could be questionable. But other than that, like it's pretty good. And then I have bought, like, I've got a couple of shelves of manga in the other room. I had all of Bleach, but I sold it because it was too much.
Oh yeah. Whew.
So all right, so let's just finish off on Fire and Ice. I mean, obviously it's awesome. Like every single part of it is good. They can't replicate it today. Even if you just like, the story is cool. It's a bit simple, but it's done in a neat way because it's adventure. It's like Larn is going on adventures. Then you have a villain who's like destroying stuff, and he is a villain.
Well, it's clear cut. There's no twist that like, oh, he was wronged and sympathetic.
Right.
Like, no, none of this bullshit. He's a bad guy. He's an asshole. It's like he's unfairly destroying guys, and so the fight done. Okay. And they team up with that Dark Wolf guy. They don't question it. They're like, this guy's pumped up, and it's like he's like, oh, I want those like pterodactyl things. It's like, okay, so they all go. And then of course there's a bunch of them because they need to show a bunch of them get destroyed. So like there's those guys like with the rocks and with the bows and arrows, and they're like destroying each one by one. Yeah, it's like their trench run. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, and they gave the villains like some personality as well. Like I like when the troll goes to reason with them, and then they just kill him, and then they come back and they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna kill you and take the girl. We're not gonna like talk to you about stuff." It's like,
this is negotiation.
You can have her for a price or whatever. You're like, yeah, right. We're just gonna kill you. Yeah, they're awesome. So all right, guys, I think that's good. Tomorrow night is going to be the verses. Sean, you're coming to that, right? I don't know if I have to apologize to you or not. I did say that I really like those movies, and they might not be suitable for people who are not me. So we're going to talk about Midsommar, which I watched the 3-hour version, and I loved it, and Hereditary, and that's the normal version. So we're gonna versus those 2 movies. So it's gonna be weird. We'll see what the turnout is. It's a little bit different for this channel, but we'll see how it goes. Saturday we're back into the normal J-Man stuff with the DC tier ranking. DC tier ranking is gonna be great. So that could not be reached. Already privately messaged me, said he's gonna skip tomorrow because he didn't like Hereditary. But I don't know, man. I like Hereditary. It's
all right. I
like that grandmother, man. Like, what a bitch. She's a total bitch. Just
where'd they find that kid from? Well,
we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. Yeah. Like, that little girl Charlie, she's got the name of the Firestarter character, Charlie.
You're right. Yes. Yeah.
She came out of nowhere. I was like, this is a unique person. Like, she's a very unique person. I was like, huh. Yeah. And then she gets her face smashed. And you're like,
See, that was spoiled for me. I knew about that.
I knew that too. I already knew that too. Yeah. But I was waiting for it. I was like, oh God, here we go. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, then that's it. So hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. If not, let's see you Saturday. Come out for Saturday because DC tier ranking is going to be a lot of fun. We got Professor Bill, Comic Vet Chris.
And it's not just the modern DC stuff, right? It's
not just modern DC
as well.
So Swamp Thing's in there, Supergirl's in there, the Christopher Reeve films, Constantine with Keanu Reeves is in that one. Adam West Batman's on that list.
Yep.
So it's a lot of it's the big Jonah Hex is on there, even like Catwoman. So it's all of the DC live action films. So that's gonna be Saturday, guys. So come check that out. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.